Okay. Okay. One. All right, so we should be, I think we should be ready to go. I think we're going everywhere. Make sure. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Oh. Starting this live broadcast here. Don't understand what's going on here for this one. We're getting started, trying to make this work. Facebook's having this little platform's having a small challenge. Yeah, there's no reason why this isn't rolling.
I'm going to give you a step.
Okay, Collier. We are going to keep going here regardless. All right. Go to our special group. Does not want to play. Okay, well, sorry. Sorry that the iPhone doesn't want to play to our special small niche group, so we're going to keep going, guys. As they say, the show must go on, right? So good day. Hello. It's the second week of our Kickstart challenge. And today we're going to do several things and catch up on things. But just so you guys know, I was a chronic yo-yo dieter for decades. And I didn't even know what I didn't even know. And without me knowing, I had an A1C of 18.1 and a fasting blood glucose of 834. So yes, I should have died. I've been fat, sick, and nearly dead. But God kept me alive so I could share my story with others. And in 107 days on a natural protocol, I was able to have an A1C of 7.2 and a fasting blood glucose of 90. And what I didn't even know, the signs that were going on in my body was I had skin tags, I had brain fog, my hair was falling out, my gums were bleeding, I had skin acne, I had gout, I had inflammation, I was peeing all the time, I was constantly hungry, constantly drinking, constantly thirsty, and all that's gone on a protocol we'll talk about later. So yeah, this is me, fat, sick, and nearly dead. I now have a 28-inch waist, and I've actually gained 9 pounds of lean muscle mass. So I'm 30% lean muscle now. So that's kind of where this whole thing started. And we're going to talk about cooking, and we're following a protocol with our eating too. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself a glass of Stronghold. Now, Stronghold is a creatine, leucine, and HMB, and it helps build muscles. See the logo on there? Stronghold. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to drink that now. Later on, I'll have my fiber, and I'll explain that to you, the why. But I'm going to drink this, and it's delicious. But again, it's a creatine, leucine, and HMB. And that's an important combination to build muscle. And as we age, normally we lose muscle. and I'm 73. And I'm actually gaining muscle. I've gained 9 pounds of lean muscle mass. I had suffered from what was called sarcopenia. My body was literally eating my muscles. I went down to 143 pounds. I'm up to 152 on the positive side for myself. Now I have no medications for anything, for any kind of blood work, for blood pressure, for diabetes, for anything. I'm on no meds, zero meds at all. And so that's kind of where we're starting. So I've been fat, sick, and nearly dead. And my blood, everything is in 107 days has become totally normal. So I wanted to let you know that. And then also I'll talk about it later, but there's the opportunity. We have 2 weeks, we have 15 days to qualify for an all expense cruise, 4-day cruise. If you'd like to learn about that, put cruise in the chat, and because the company's sponsoring that. And oh my gosh, every room on this Royal Caribbean, every one of us, it's just the company owns the entire ship for these 4 days. All the rooms have balconies. I mean, how cool is this? I'm so excited, I can't even tell you. So if you want to learn how to qualify for that, message me cruise, and I'll make sure you get that information. So we're going to go through a lot of things today. We've been going along. I'm going to talk about our menu. So let's get going. But I always like to sharpen my knives first. So always make sure you have sharp knives. They are important. Very important to have sharp knives. It's safer to have a sharp knife. You would think it wouldn't be, but a dull knife is dangerous. So these knives are sharp. Always sharpen them before I put them away anyway. So I've got those ready to go off to the side. Okay, so today on the menu, and by the way, if you're just starting out with us, these menus are just inside the Kickstart program. I didn't make them. I didn't design them. They're just in there. The thing I like about it is that cooking is a suggestion. A recipe is a suggestion. Now, if you're a baker, bakers are scientists because you have to be precision to time, to temperature, ingredients. Cooking, we get to play. This is where I live. I love to play with food. And so today we will be looking at a tuna salad and beef fajitas. But this week we had a pizza bake. We've had shredded tacos, beef tacos. We're going to look at how we're going to reconstitute and reuse these leftovers. The great thing about the protocol is to simply don't eat as much because we drink a fiber before we eat, which helps fill us up. We'll talk about that later. The nice thing about this meal plan, though, is then they also have the shopping list. And so you can go through your pantry, go through your refrigerator and see what you have and what you might need. Now, you get to substitute anything you want. That's why I love cooking, because recipes are just a suggestion. So we did this week, we've already done a pizza bake. We did that with almond flour and cheese and an egg. And it was supposed to be made in the microwave, but I decided I didn't want to have Play-Doh. So we actually made it in the stone, in the oven, and it came out great because we made a margarita and a pepperoni, and sugar-free pepperoni. So that was how this played out, okay? Now, today we're going to be doing shredded beef. That shredded beef tacos, that was Monday as well. And instead of using the shells, like it said, or soft tortillas, what I did is I made it on the lettuce, on romaine. Delicious that way. So again, you get to play. Now today, it says shredded beef bowl. Now, we had started the week with a chuck roast. And we've already used it for tacos. Today, we're also going to use it for the fajitas. But I want to show you right off the bat what I did I divided that chuck roast into 2 pieces to use it different ways. And so had it as sandwiches. And now, last night, in a little crock pot, I took some banana pepper rings, no sugar, no sugar, no maltodextrin, no starches, just banana peppers, water, vinegar, and then there's no sugars, no starches of any kind inside of this. And guess what we made? Made Italian beef. And I'm telling you, it was delicious. It's gorgeous. And then with some provolone. So I get the fat stirred up on here. Okay. But yeah, you see the peppers? Yeah. This is so good. But all we did was then, after I made the roast the first time in the small crock pot, that's how I did it in a small crock pot, then separated them out. And so we had some already over the side we used for the tacos. And this side we had just as beef. Now what I've done last night or yesterday afternoon, I put a gack in a very small crock pot with the whole bottle of these banana peppers, mild banana peppers, and made the Italian beef. Phenomenal. I don't know why they call it Italian beef. I got no idea. Maybe it was a recipe somebody came up with, but it's delicious. Very simple way to have a nice leftover. And you can eat it as a sandwich. You can do all kinds of different things with it. So I just wanted to show you that modification. That's how repurposing a leftover, being a little bit creative and thinking ahead. So I'm going to put this away. But I wanted to share that with you. That jar can throw away now. Put this back in the fridge. Cool. Now I'll clean this moisture up. Great. Okay, so now today, the next thing we're going to be doing on our agenda is we're going to start working on this shredded beef fajita bowl. Now, for the bowl, they want us to use, and I'm not going to necessarily make it all, but they want us to use, on this example, in this recipe, this bowl, instead of rice, using cauliflower rice. Cauliflower rice. So here's one of the things: you can make your own cauliflower rice. You take cauliflower, a head of cauliflower, and you shred it all up and all that kind of thing. That's great. I just don't want to make that much of a mess here on the show or in the kitchen. But so I bought this cauliflower rice. Now, this can be steamed or just thawed out. But the main thing I want to show you here, again, is trying to be clean. The only ingredient is cauliflower. That's the only ingredient. That's what you want. You want simple, clean things. Okay, and I'm not going to cook this in a plastic bag because we know all about microplastic. But that would be what's would go in the bowl. That's what would go in the bowl. And yes, my names are on my serverware. But we're not going to make that for right now. I'm going to use that'll be tonight. So I'll put this back in the freezer. But I am going to do the vegetables. So on the vegetables that we're going to put in the pan are going to be peppers and onion. And we're going to use avocado oil. So I'm going to address these guys, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and attack the pepper, the red pepper. Just going to cut it in half like that, a quick slice, and peel it back. I'm going to use this much of it. Set this off to the side. Do the same thing here. Give a slight little slice. Kind of crack it in half. See how easy this works? I'm going to take this much of it. Save this. That's going back in the fridge. And this one, take it across. And see how we pull that out, how nice it is. And then, to make sure I have the right colors, I believe somewhere I have a green one that we use with the stuffed peppers. one leftover stuff, I thought. Oh, there it is. And we had one other one left over from, remember we did stuffed peppers last week. So I'm gonna open this up. Cool. So what we're gonna do then is really simply just prep these and just take nice thin long slices. See how I make these so they're strips? Very simple to do. But I should have a sharp knife. Okay, so I got the green ones done. And let's go to the red. All right. Now, the one thing that we want to know we talk about this is that we want to eat our food in a correct order. Now you say, well, what do you mean? An order? Yeah, in an order. You want to eat your food. The order of food, you want to eat fiber first. Why would you want to eat fiber first? Well, because fiber does several things. There's soluble and insoluble fiber. And modern day food environment, they have taken the fiber out. They've removed fiber from our food. If you didn't know that, now you do. So now you can't see you don't know that. Get rid of some of the spines. And they removed the fiber from our food, and the reason they've done it was from lessons they've learned from trying to get food to the war theater, is that if you have fiber, food spoil faster. So you increase the shelf life by taking fiber out. But what that does is that shortens your life. So the compromise is that they're profiting from your being not well. And so there is a plan that they don't care. Because why do they care? Why should they care about your nutrition? Their main concern is what? Profit. Just how it is. So those guys there. Got the yellow one to do here. This is so pretty. And this is fiber. We're looking at this because it's fiber. Now the beef we had was grass-fed, grass-finished. That's important as well. That it's grass-fed, but how is it finished? All right, so we got those peppers done. That's going to go on this pan here in a minute. We're just going to go real quick with some onions. I'm not a huge onion fanatic, so I'm just going to do a couple of these. Okay, that'll go over here, out of our way. Take this off. Now this happens to be Vidalia onions. You can use any kind of onion you like. I'm not a huge onion fan. I like the sweeter onions, the Vidalias. Of course, they're called Vidalias because that's kind of the area where they grow out of. All right. And so we'll make these into the piece rings too. All right. See how nice and easy that is? We're not trying to make things simple, not complicated, not a whole lot of cutting and chopping, not a whole lot of error that you can have on this, doing it like this, okay? All right. Now, we're going to add some avocado oil to the pan. Let's get the pan started. All right. Get that going. Cool. So that's in there. Going to put the vegetables in there. We're just really going to soften them. That's really the whole thing, to soften them. And I'm going to kind of keep that going by, whoops, sorry. There we go. I'm going to keep it covered to help the moisture stay in there and help them cook a little bit faster. That's just a little trick. There's no reason not to make things go faster and more efficient. Now, the other thing I'm going to show you along with that, so there's your traditional colored peppers, right? Colored peppers and onions, yes. I'm also going to add a portobello. And I got a great deal on these portobellos. But the little trick I want to teach you is when you get your mushrooms and bring them home, don't leave them in the plastic containers that they're in. Take them and put them in paper bags. Take them, get little sandwich bags like this, snack bags, put them in, take that 8-ounce container, whatever, put it in a paper bag, and they'll keep a long time in the fridge. They will not get all slimy. So this is a portobello, and I'm going to put this in with the fajita mix now. This is going to be part of it. Now, if you're going to, a trick to know, if you're going to cook mushrooms as a rule, like if you're going to do mushrooms, sauteed mushrooms, for a steak type of thing, what you're going to do with those guys is you're going to put them in the pan by themselves, and you're not going to add any oil. You're not going to add any oil because they sweat. And you want them to get the sweating done before you add any oil. Otherwise, they're not going to. They just do it. Just trust me on that. Next time you do mushrooms, well, you're going to do a saute mushroom, then put them in the pan, get them cooked down first. Let them start to reduce before you add any oil or any seasonings. And normally, I like to do this stuff out on the grill burner on a cast iron. But beans we're doing this, we're indoors. That's why we're doing it like this. So these guys are ready to get going. Just so you know, the meat that we're going to use is the other part of the taco meat. Remember we did the shredded tacos? So you can see this is the other part of that roast that is now Italian beef. So these guys are already kind of seasoned. They're ready to go as part of the fajita bowl. So on this particular recipe, we've already got the beef done. We're getting these guys cooked down, softened up. They would go in on top of the cauliflower rice if we're going to use it. Or you put it you could just wrap them. You can eat them just straight the way it is. Or if you have some healthy shells, you can do a wrap on them, okay? Also then, we'd have with the sauteed peppers, onions, we've got avocado. We've got avocados to use. You can slice them and put them on top of the bowl, all right? Put them in there as well. And we have some nice Roma tomatoes. You know I like Romas for this kind of thing because they are meaty, not sloppy juicy. So that's putting this together. And that would be that. So we already have it. But I think I'm going to season it a little bit more. To me, I thought it needed a little bit more. So I'm going to add some more chili powder to this. I'm going to add some smoked paprika. I'm going to add some ancho chili. I'm going to add some cayenne. You know what? I just thought of something. I'm going to grab this too. I'm going to add some smoked chili salt to this combination. Oh yeah, that'll make all the difference. That is going to make all the difference. This is sea salt, chili, cumin, coriander seed, cloves. Perfect. Gotta love that. Get this mixed into itself. Let it re-age if you will. Oh yeah, that's gonna be great. You can hear this sizzling of the sauces over here, the peppers and the mushroom and the onion. All right, that's gonna be great. So that would go with the cauliflower rice if you're making it as a bowl, or you can just put it with the wraps if you're going to do that. But there you go. So that is the shredded beef that we did for the tacos, the shredded beef tacos on Monday. We took some and already made Italian beef out of the rest. And so there we go. So one of the things I want to teach you guys is one of the big secrets of why we have issues with our metabolic health is you're simply eating too often. You're eating too often. Have you been told to eat 3 meals a day and then snack every 2 hours? If you've been told that, put 6 in the chat. Because the problem with the challenge with that is the reason that if you don't feel well, if you're sluggish, if you're fatigued, if you have belly fat that you can't get rid of, if you start having brain fog, if you eat and get sleepy, it's because you are eating too often. You are not giving your body a break. And so we want to look at what can we do to be better and treat our bodies a smidge better. Well, one of the biggest secrets you can do is not eat every 2 hours. And why? Oh, this is looking good. Woo! Smells phenomenal. Woo! I love it. Okay. The reason is because when you eat, you cause chaos in your gut. When you eat, what happens is that in the glucose, the starch you just had spikes. It turns into sugar, blood sugar. Okay? If you have starches turn into glucose at a higher number than even sugar does. Maltodextrin is, don't buy maltodextrin ever again. If you see maltodextrin as an ingredient, put the bagger box down because it on the glycemic index is like 80 to 120. Don't. If it says maltodextrin, put it back. It is a filler, a man-made filler that's cheap to make, and it's going to cost you. It's going to cost your health. It's going to cost your family's health. Leave maltodextrin in the store. Do not bring it home ever again. No. Maltodextrin is 100% no all the time. Never, never, never. Leave it alone. Okay? Now, when your blood glucose spikes, guess what happens? Insulin has to go higher than that level because insulin has to push it down. Push it down where? To the cells that'll take it until they're full. And when they get full, they're full of fat. And so now it won't go in there. So they're not sensitive to insulin bringing it to them. So then it goes where? It goes to the liver. And the liver says, hey, we're full. You've heard of non-alcoholic fatty liver, haven't you? You know, there's children, 8, 9, 10 with non-alcoholic fatty livers. Yeah, it used to be a fatty liver was found in the poor person or so that had too much libation too often, and they got psoriasis in that liver. You know what guys I'm talking about. Guess what? 10-year-olds aren't drinking alcohol like that, nor 11 or 12s. Non-alcoholic fatty liver has come down to children. One of the sad things in our American diet, you know, the standard American diet, the sad American diet has caused another sad. Do you know what that sad is? the standard American diseases. Yeah, the standard American diet, the SAD, has created the SAD, the standard American diseases, which has turned itself into who? SAM, standard American medicine. At whose cost? Exactly. So what we want to do is we want to empower you to be able to take control of your health. And you can. There is hope. But it requires a conscious, deliberate behavioral change. You don't have to, not huge things. See, Americans, we're really kind of like all or nothing, aren't we? And it's all or nothing. I'm going to do this, and then we fail. And then you fail. All right, got enough of the tinge on this. All right, I'm going to turn the heat off and just let them do it their own thing. You see how nice that looks? See how soft they are? The mushrooms are happy too. I've got just a little bit of a caramelization on the bottom of the pan. The onions are great. This is perfect. Perfect. All right, so that's ready to go. I'm going to set this off to the side now because that's good for making that bowl. All right, the next thing I'm going to look at to make, and what we're going to look at, is doing the salad. Now, today's salad is a tuna salad. And I've discovered my favorite tuna. If you don't like tuna, you can make anything else you want to do as your protein. But in this particular case, in this tuna salad, on the recipe, it calls for avocado and cucumbers. I don't have any cucumbers. I have some zucchini. But we'll see if we do that. But the really thing about this is the order of food. The big deal is the order of food. The order of food is what? Fiber, fat, and protein. That's how you want to eat in the deliberate order of food. Why? Because you can see that in this order of food, fiber has really no impact on your blood glucose. That is great because then insulin doesn't have to come out and work just for that. Okay? Fiber, there's two kinds of fiber. There's soluble and insoluble. Insoluble means it helps you for gluten pooping. It keeps things sliding and moving along. But more importantly, it also feeds the good bacteria, the good gut biome. Okay? It helps do that. And you want that. The second thing is fiber comes in the form of what? Soluble, which means it coats things. It turns into a gel. And it's filling. It helps to make you fuller faster. If you're fuller faster, you won't what? Eat as much. And it also helps slow down absorption of that sugar spike. So that's one of the reasons, the great idea is why fiber is so important and why we talk about fiber maxing. Yes, fiber maxing. And so then the next thing you look to do after you eat your fiber is you're going to look at eating what? Fat. So that's good fats. Have you ever been told fat makes you fat? If you've been told fat makes you fat, put an F in the chat. Because you know why that happened? Fat makes you fat was so they could force feed you more profitable oils. See, fat makes you fat demonized lard, butter, and ghee. It was a falsehood, is a falsehood for marketing to get you away from that and to buy seed oils. For example, the original one was cottonseed oil. Cottonseed oil. You know the story behind cottonseed oil? Cottonseed oil was brought to you by Procter & Gamble. Yeah, Procter and Gamble. It was cottonseed oil was at one time considered a toxic waste, a toxic byproduct. It was a toxic waste. And what happened was they created the process called hydrolyzation, which is forcing hydrogen into an oil and it makes it solid. Okay? Follow me on this. So what they did was they solidified cottonseed oil. Now, cottonseed oil had been used as a waste. Then it was used as a lubricant because it was slippery and it kind of stuck. And then it was also used as a fuel because as an oil, it didn't explode like kerosene. It burned. It was an oil. Okay? Well, they hydrolyzed it and made it into a solid. So they had crystallized cottonseed oil. If you were to say that fast, like if you're playing a game like Password or something like that, and you were to say it fast enough, what would it sound like? Crystallized cottonseed oil sounds like what? Crisco. And that's exactly what Crisco is. It's cottonseed oil that was hydrolyzed, made into a solid. That's that blue can with the white lid on it, right? It used to be from Procter & Gamble. Now Smucker's has it. And what they've done is they've exchanged cottonseed oil for soybean oil. Still same process. It's still white. It's just a different seed oil. Okay? Now here's my point. Here's my point. You know what Crisco looks like. You know what that shortening looks like, that hydrolyzed soybean oil, right? You know what that looks like. Follow me. What's this? This is what? Peanut butter. If you were going to make peanut butter, what would you put in here? What would you put in here if you were going to make peanut butter? What? Put that in the chat. If you were going to make peanut butter, what would you put in here? Yeah, I would too. I'd put in peanuts. Peanuts, maybe some salt. But let's look what the ingredients are. Even the choosy moms choose, and if you skip the loo, that one, they have hydrolyzed, they have peanuts. That's the first ingredient. Good start, great start. But then sugar. Why do you need sugar? Have you ever been to a ballpark where you get a bag of peanuts and they give you sprinkles of sugar? No. Peanut butter, peanuts is peanuts, right? One ingredient, maybe some salt, high quality salt. But let's keep going. Then molasses. Oh, good, more sugar. For coloring too, right? Maybe. But now hydrolyzed, hydrogenated, rapeseed oil, cottonseed oil, and soybean oil. Think about that. They're hydrogenated oils. You know what? One of them is cottonseed oil. What is hydrogenated cottonseed oil? Crisco. Hydrogenated soybean oil. The new Crisco. And rapeseed oil is another oil that's highly abrasive to the gut. So abrasive that they did hybriding enough to create a different kind of plant, a different kind of seed oil called Canada laolic oil, which you now know as canola oil. But think about this. They put peanuts in here that you creamed up, and then just think about visually. Now you've got Crisco from Procter & Gamble, Crisco from Smucker's, and I don't know who does hydrogenated rapeseed oil. Probably nobody, because it's so abrasive. But that's in here. So would you feed your child a Crisco sandwich with some peanut on it? How about some Crisco made out of soybean oil? Would that be better? No. That's what's in here. When in doubt, turn it, flip it about, read the ingredients, leave it in the store. If you want peanut butter, buy real peanut butter. It's going to be on the top shelf. And it's probably going to be separated. There's going to be oil and the solid nuts at the bottom. Even if you go to a store like Aldi's, they've got pure peanut butter, and that's what it looks like. It's going to be solid with the oil on top. So you stir the oil back in. Or you can feed your kids Crisco. It's your choice. Again, I'm trying to help empower you so you have control, give you hope that you can make some changes that absolutely fix you. So we're going to work on, right now, I'm going to work on this salad. And remember, we're going to have fiber first. So we're going to start with, in this case, I'm going to start with spinach. Now, one of the tricks using, if you have a container like this where you bring it home, put paper towels in it at the top and the bottom, because that helps absorb the oil and preserves it longer so it doesn't turn brown. So I'm going to take some. I'm going to take some and I'm going to put it in here. But you know what? I want some romaine. That's what I want. Changing up my plan. I want romaine. I don't want spinach. I want romaine. There we go. I want romaine. So there's fiber. Cut up. Then I'm going to put some avocado in. Avocado is what? Following our recipe here, avocado is fat and fiber. So let's see how we're doing here. I always love opening up avocados because you never know. It's like a bag of chips, right? You never know what you're going to get. So here's my handy dandy. Go right through here. And I got my slices. Look at that. All right. Take the tool. It's kind of a cool tool. Go through there, spin it out. Come in. This is so cool. Just come in, turn it, and now I've got slices again. So there's that. Now, I want some more fat and I want some more fiber in my salad. So I'm going to add some walnuts. And let's just see, make sure. Cool. Guess what the ingredients are in here? Walnuts. No oils. No salt. Walnuts. Going to put that in. So there's fiber and fats in the oil. You know what? I want some more fiber. I'm going to add some black beans, fiber and protein. Then let's put in some tomato. Let's put in some tomato in here. Oops. This is aroma. And I like them because they're meaty and they're not runny. I'll get this in there. Be nice. Fiber. It is a little carb because it is an apple after all, isn't it? Tomatoes belong in the apple family. Okay. Take that. You know what? The other thing I'm going to add in here for some fiber, I'm going to get a little bit of another portobello mushroom. This is going to take some of it. Again, see how I have it in the bag. In a paper bag. It'll keep going just fine in this paper bag. I don't worry about it spoiling. Now, if you just joined us, guys, we've got 2 weeks where you still can qualify for a 4-day all-inclusive cruise in the Royal Caribbean, 4 days, a Caribbean cruise, And the great thing about it is the company is paying for it. So if you want to have the opportunity to have a 4-day cruise, put cruise in the chat for me. I'll make sure I get you the details. Now, this tuna, I'm going to use tuna as my protein. And this is my favorite tuna, guys. It is StarKist EVOO. So it's extra virgin olive oil and crushed red peppers. Now, they make some, there's one that's basil as well. They have a couple different ones, but I happen to like this. I discovered this by accident, and it's the best accent for tuna I've ever found. It changes the game. I wasn't really all that crazy about tuna. Now I really like it. So I'll put this in here. So now I don't have to worry about adding any oil because it's already in here. It's already been seasoned. It's got peppers. So now we look at, again, we talked about fiber, fat, protein, right? All in this one bowl. Look how nice this is. And I don't need any cucumbers. I don't need any zucchini. I've got pretty much everything in here. But you know what I'm going to do? Just so I have some fun, I'm going to add some more fat. I'm going to add some more fat and some creaminess along with it in the form of cottage cheese. About that much. That looks good. Okay. Again, this is how we cook because cooking a recipe is a suggestion. And means I know the profiles of these foods, I can make them the way I like them. So now I've got my salad, which is actually going to be my meal. I planned it this way. I want to show you how to do the fajitas because that was part of the meal, but I wanted to show you how to make it. And that'll be part of dinner. Now, so put this over here. I think this will fit just fine on my plate. Okay? I think this will fit just fine on my plate. Oh, yeah. Cool. So again, for fiber, fat, and protein, and an itty bitty bit of carb because of what? Because of the bean and because of the Roma tomato. Okay? Now that is a pretty decent salad, don't you think? Okay. Now I will, before I eat it, I got to finish up my stronghold. I will put fresh ground pepper on it. That always makes you feel better when you shake it from a grinder, doesn't it? Now, remember I told you that we've got a cruise that you can qualify for in the next 15 days. What I want to show you, though, what I'd like to show you is that before that cruise, you have the opportunity to come to Orlando. And in Orlando, we have an event, a spectacular event. We have Nina Techholz is going to be speaking there. The Big Fat Surprise, she's going to be there. Jason Fung, author of the Obesity Code, the Diabetic Code, is going to be speaking. We have Dr. Ben Bickman, Why We Get Sick, the leading metabolic scientist in the world. We have Cynthia Thurlow, and Cynthia Thurlow is going to be there talking, and she's an author and talking about intermittent fasting transformation. We have Dr. Nick, who's going to be talking. He's preventative medicine, metabolic health, and we have, as quick as this opens up, sorry about this. technology and me. We have Dr. Carlos. And we have Dr. Carlos. And he's the founder of the Institute of Functional Medicine. Dr. Carlos, founder of Functional Medicine, right? The Institute of Functional Medicine is going to be speaking. All these people on stage one day, $99. If you want to get a ticket, put ticket in the chat and I'll make sure I get you the link for it. It's $99 to have all of these incredible speakers. And one day, it's a one-day event. Now, we already had a special event last night where we had Dr. Mindy Peltz spoke. And Dr. Mindy Peltz spoke with Dr. Ben Bickman. Can you imagine what an exclusive awesome event we had last night with Dr. Ben Bickman and Dr. Mindy Peltz? And that was an exclusive for us. But Dr. Carlos is going to be speaking at the Metabolic Miracle. Dr. Nick is going to be speaking, preventive medicine, CrossFit trainer. That's going to be awesome. Dr. Cynthia Thurlow, a nurse practitioner and author of Intermittent Fasting Transformation. And Dr. Ben Bickman, author of Why We Get Sick, the leading metabolic scientist and researcher in the world. Dr. Jason Fung, author of the Obesity Code and the Diabetic Code. Nina Teckles, and it's the Big Fat Surprise. Guys, oh, and there's one more. There's one more that's going to be there. We've got one more. I'm sorry. I got to look it up. There's one more speaker. I'm so embarrassed. But so, yeah, there's even more. And it's only $99. One day, it's the world's most elite conference for this. So amazing. So for $99, if you'd like a ticket, to get a ticket, they're $99. That's half off because they're almost $200. You can get one for $99, but order quick. And I would say if you know anybody in Florida or Georgia that's into fitness, into training, into health, let them know that there's an event. Now, this is on November 8th, the day before my birthday, just so you know. So now you know when my birthday is. But on November 8th in Orlando at the World Resort, the Marriott there. You've heard about, you've been there. It's a great resort. But they're going to be speaking on stage with us. And for only $99, get yourself a seat. Give a gift to someone that you know loves to train, someone that's a nutritionist, someone that would like to be exposed and learn about metabolic health, learn about their fitness, learn about it from the experts. Get them in there so they can learn, okay? So I've talked about that. But again, the cruise is happening as well. So you have an opportunity if you want to earn the cruise, put that in the chat. I'll make sure you get to that information as well. So we've talked about the order of food. We've created a dish using some leftovers. So we have Italian beef. We have fajitas. We've readdressed those as well. We've addressed the tuna salad. We changed up the recipe a little bit. I didn't use any red onion. I didn't use any lemon juice, but I used, or any cucumbers, but I used that awesome tuna with peppers in it. So when we get back together on Friday, it looks like they want us to do a tuna salad, have that leftover. There won't be any leftover because that's my lunch. And zoodles and meatballs. I'm not sure we'll do zoodles. Do you guys like zoodles? Do you like zoodles? Do you want to learn about them? If you want to learn about zoodles, put zoodles in the chat, and that'll be a challenge to make that. But that's where you take zucchini and you strain it all up like that to make these noodles. We may give it a go. Yeah. If you want me to do the zoodles, put zoodle in the chat and I'll make that up. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to eat my salad, but before I do that, I'm going to show you that I start with fiber. Now, this is a fiber matrix. It has 4 patents on it. The Cleveland Clinic said that this fiber, that's such a product, now this is the Cleveland Clinic saying, it's not me saying it, not anybody else saying it. The Cleveland Clinic said that such a product, given on a population basis, could lower the need and or dose of lipid-lowering drugs. This information has been out for a couple decades, and you probably just heard about it now. But this is a soluble and insoluble fiber. Okay, whoops, go to the other side. So I'm going to make it so you can see it right here, just so you can see me blend it up. Okay. All right. See how that's going in there? See that fiber? Now, this is a blend, and it's pharmaceutical medical grade fiber. In fact, it's NSF certified. It's independently certified. Every batch, there's even a number that verifies what batch it was in. And what happens with this fiber, and you're going to see how fast it thickens up. Look at that. So it's soluble fiber, which just creates kind of a gel, which coats the line, which will coat food and slow down the absorption. Look at this now. See how smooth and creamy that it comes out? So it's a blend of soluble and insoluble fibers. Oh, add a little more water. Don't want it to go to waste. So before every meal, I drink it. Now, in the normal protocol, most people only drink 1 a day. I drink 1 before every meal. That's one of the reasons I have a 28-inch waist, I think. That's why my blood sugar is so good. See that? Wow. So it's going to coat my gut. It's going to coat the food. The soluble fiber does this. The insoluble fiber flows through, keeps movement going. Okay? Gluten pooping, if you will. But it feeds, more importantly, it feeds the good bacteria. And understand the gut is considered the second brain. When your gut, let's just say, if you have mood swings, if you had huge mood swings, you have challenges in your gut, because 80% of your serotonin, your happy hormone, is produced in your gut. If you have mood swings, you're irritable, and you're fatigued and tired all the time, obviously you need more fiber and hydration and sleep. But the balance does that for us right there. So, guys, I thank you for coming in tonight. I hope you have a great day. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them back for you. If you want to know about the cruise, we've got 15 days to qualify for a cruise. You have, and for the rest, well, I know right now the tickets to see those speakers, those 9 people, those amazing speakers, is only $99. It's a flash sale going on. If you'd like to have some of those, put ticket in the chat. If you want to learn about the cruise that you can qualify for, which is in November. And by the way, we're cruising on my birthday, November 9th. So just so you know, put tickets, put cruise and or tickets or both. So I want to thank you for coming on board. I hope you find this enjoyable. I hope you learned a little bit. Remember, order food, fiber, fats, protein. Stop snacking. Stop snacking. Stop snacking. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.